Do you have lots of Christmas supplies you'd like to use, but maybe don't need that many Christmas cards? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, paper crafter of over 20 years and creator of paper busting templates that help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today I want to share how I can use 1 pack of Christmas papers to make a set of no scrap Christmas cards and no scrap everyday cards, using generally the same supplies. So we're gonna use the same paper across both. I do have some embellishments, but I don't know that these embellishments will work for our everyday cards. They are pretty Christmas specific, but this particular paper pad from Everett Road had this blue plaid, and I do tend to find all the the plaids, the stripes, the polka dots. Those tend to be the ones that I look for non-Christmas cards. What I like about the plaids is it usually also means that I can make cards that might generally be considered masculine cards. So I will keep that in mind today. Although, of course, I don't think that there's, only guys like plaid. And I think I was thinking I might maybe using these deer or something. I think that a card could be for a lot of people. But anyway, we're going to use the plaid paper for our non-Christmas cards. And then I have this 6x6 paper busting template number 12 for Slimline Cards, and we're using some fairly large pieces. It works well, in my opinion, for single-sided paper, which is what this is, but I'm looking at this Merry Christmas paper and I'm realizing if I cut it down the middle, you won't see a full Merry Christmas on one of them. So I'm like, maybe that's not a good fit. This Comfort and Joy paper could work out really well. I think I'm gonna look, if I cut it down the center, so if I go 1 inch, I want to make sure you can see that. 1, 2, 3 inches. You would be able to pretty much read Comfort and Joy. I'd be cutting it right about here. That could work. It'd be nice if they were a little more centered. That deer paper, I think you could use this for a non-Christmas card too. It'd be a little specific. And then there's just this Merry Christmas. I think even though, again, you might not get a full Merry Christmas, it would be pretty clear what was going on. And it's a paper you'd certainly have to use on a Christmas card. So why don't we just use that one? All right, so the measurements for today's card are going to be very, very simple. You can get this template in a pack in the Etsy shop so that you have 10 or there's 20 in all ideas for using 6x6 paper with Slimline cards and no scraps. But today's measurements, like I said, very, very simple. And so you can just follow along with the video. When using tools like paper trimmers, please follow all manufacturers' safety instructions. I actually have both of my pieces of patterned paper together today because I'm cutting them all the same way. I cut my 6x6 down to 3x6. And then I'm gonna cut this 3x6 to 3 pieces that are 3x2 inches. So I'm subtracting 2 from 6 to get to 4, and then 2 again to get to 2. And so I have all the pieces that I need for each card. Ordinarily, I would suggest mixing these and not using them all in the same card. But I think this one does work for it. And I am trying to have some Christmas and non-Christmas. But that is one reason that I sometimes hesitate to pull out the more plain pieces of patterned paper from my Christmas collections. But I think there's a couple other papers this Merry Christmas would have gone well with, so I'm not too worried about that. And like I said, I would really rather get some of my Christmas paper used for non-Christmas cards because I always have plenty of Christmas cards. And then we're going to need to cut some mats. This is going to be really simple. These are 3x2 inches, so my mats need to be 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. I need 3 for each card. So I'm not even gonna go over cutting those today. I always encourage you to get to your scraps first. And to talk briefly about cardstock selection, because when I went to pick a cardstock for this, I found that it was a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. I think I'm gonna go with this one here on the left, but I wanted to talk about why that worked. These are in job ticket holders, so they have a bit of a glare on them, but it does work well to hold the scraps, that kind of thing, so I really like having them. I thought, these are kind of a dark blue, especially this one here, so I'll just pull a couple dark blues, or pull a dark blue from my collection, and I put it on here, and I think this looks fine, but it doesn't look quite right. And in fact, when I put it down next to it, I realized that this blue is a bit more of a purple type of blue. It's a blue kind of mixed with red. Whereas this paper here is a blue mixed with green. And when I placed it on top, it made me realize that this pattern paper that I was using is also a blue that is mixed with green. It's something I probably could have figured out if I thought about it ahead of time, but that's those kind of things that can help you to figure out what makes something look good together or coordinate. Is, just because two things are blue doesn't mean that they'll go together. And one of the reasons that they may or may not is because what is the other color that is coming, through with it. So, I initially thought, oh, navy would go really well. That is a blue that's a little bit more of a red blue. And so, not that this is exactly a pure navy cardstock, but what I really need is one that complements this paper and pulls out some of that more blue-green color. In terms of finishing off this card, I cut all the 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch mats. As mentioned, all the pieces are the exact same size. They're all 3 by 2. I took one of the matted pieces and I placed it in the center of the card using my grid mat to help me to make sure that it was pretty centered. And then when I went to assemble the rest of the cards, I just used that one card that had the centered piece as a reference. Although of course you could keep using your grid mat if you're working on your gridded surface. And then I'm going to place the other 2 pieces along the top and bottom, making sure they look pretty evenly spaced. I did not make sure to puzzle back the plaid papers, although I did do that with the Merry Christmases. I thought with this writing, it was a little bit more jarring when they didn't line up. I liked the way they looked lined up more, and then with the plaid paper, I didn't think it mattered as much. But I would say here, it looks like these 2 pieces almost line up, but they don't. And so I would rather turn it upside down and make sure that they don't look lined up, like they don't look close. They are intentionally different. I think that is probably the better way to go with that, but absolutely your own taste. And again, you might not be working with plaid paper. I just wanted to point that out about this kind of, working with the same pattern across a card. Okay, so in terms of embellishing these non-Christmas cards, I did decide to use the deer and a punny Hello Dear sentiment from Lawn Fawn, which I stamped in VersaFine ink on a stitch scallop circle. It's a tiny one, and I did cut it from the same color of cardstock that I cut my mats from. You even could cut it from one of your mats. I again forgot to do that, I was able to use a scrap, and I was able to use a lot of scraps to cut all these mats, so I was feeling pretty good about that. I did want to point out there are some other embellishments from this set because it is a little bit more of like a winter, even though it has a lot of Merry Christmas written on it. There was like this large snowflake, and I thought with this snowflake, for instance, you could center it and put like a happy birthday sentiment across and just use it as a birthday card for someone who was born in the winter time and enjoyed the winter weather or something like that. Or there are a few other things you could just put like a happy winter type sentiment, but I didn't want to create a winter specific card. So that's why I went with the deer and the Hello Dear sentiment. And then for the Christmas card, it says Merry Christmas all over it. I think there's many of these that could have gone, like these embellishments that could have gone here in the center. But what I noticed is some of them were just a little bit of an odd size. So a lot of them were not proportional to the 3 by 2 inch piece. So like this one was kind of tall for it. It was almost the same size as it, so it didn't quite look right to me. Actually, that one I could work with because it's this exact same size. But anyway, some of them were just a little bit different. Was Noel looked like a really great size, and I thought it was a good opportunity to use all of these little houses because then it really filled this space quite nicely. So I put a little scrap of cardstock. I only did 1 layer, but you could always cut 2. I think I lost one of the houses at the moment, but I'll find it to finish off the card. So I just took a little scrap of cardstock and I glued it to the back so it would have just a touch of dimension compared to the Noel, and that is how I plan on finishing off these cards. I do like to, especially when it's a clearly good fit, use extra of the embellishments that I'm given, because I have had on a number of occasions extra embellishments at the end of crafting with a paper pad, and then they can feel a little bit challenging to use on future cards because then you have to find another set of pattern paper that works with them or something like that. So I do try to, when I see that opportunity, use a bunch of them. And so here are my 4 completed cards, some Christmas, some not. I hope this is inspiring you to get out your Christmas paper, get started on those Christmas cards, or if you don't need Christmas cards, still giving you ideas for how that paper can be useful outside the season. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.